Was there ever a man-eating toilet in the cartoon, or was that just the toy line? 'Cause that was my favorite toy when I was a kid,
I think
which is
that might
weird.
have just been a toy.
I have it sitting right over there on my shelf. I got Peter Venkman opened up, and he's shooting his proton stream at the man-eating toilet.
Hey, this is a family-friendly show. Keep that talking about that. You can't just cast someone because they look like more of the character, because they might not be able to act.
Here comes He-Man with his sword. I pick things up and I put them down.
Oh, that's me. Yeah. Okay, cool.
It's slime time.
Greetings, ethereal beings, subhuman entities, and spectral forms from the great beyond, and any living humans who may be watching. Welcome back to another amazing episode of Hudson Valley Slime Time. I'm Jason.
And I'm Corey.
And I'm Matt. And we are touching on a subject that we haven't talked about, surprisingly, for over 2 years now. That's right. We're going to be talking about the Real Ghostbusters cartoon show, which, Corey, I think you refer to it as the gateway drug for Ghostbusters of our age.
I did say that.
Yeah, it's about time we actually touch on this, because I can't tell you how many times we'll be at events and we'll be talking to parents with their little kids, and their kids are always like, their parents are like, oh, well, little Johnny or Sue, they haven't seen the Ghostbusters yet. We think the movie's too scary. Well, this is a great gateway for them to get into it.
Agreed.
Although, yeah, the argument could be made that when the show first started, it was kind of intense and scary to begin with. I mean, we'll talk about that a little bit later, but
yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, not as intense as the movies themselves, but
Well, no, I mean, they weren't smoking cigarettes or cursing, so there's that.
Yeah, no, Real Ghostbusters cartoon series. There's 140 episodes to pick from, so you got a lot of choices out there. Seven seasons, went from 86 to 91, I believe.
You've really got enough variety, whatever you're looking for. Like I said, the first couple of seasons were pretty dark and compelling storytelling. Then they got a little more kid friendly as it went on. So whatever you're looking for, you can find it with one of these 140 episodes at least.
Yeah, I tried. Like every other episode we do, I tried to brush up on some, because it's been a while since I've watched the cartoons. I think I did a bunch of the first season last year. So then I started watching the second season, and I was like, man, I don't remember a lot of these, and I got a lot more to go.
Yeah, I suppose a little bit later on we can maybe go over what some of our favorite episodes might be. I don't remember all of them, obviously. I haven't seen the whole show in a while, but there are memorable episodes that stick in my mind to this day.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching it when I was a kid, Saturday morning cartoons, but I can't remember specifics from when I was a kid. So going back and rewatching the episodes now, it's like, oh yeah, I remember that, but nothing, more the characters themselves jumped out to me than the actual episodes themselves. Because they had some pretty cool villains, I guess you could call them, in the in the show.
Oh yeah, the ghost designs were great.
Mm-hmm.
I think so much they even started sneaking some of them into the newer movies.
And I love that about the new movies.
Was there ever a man-eating toilet in the cartoon, or was that just the toy line? That was my favorite toy when I was a kid.
I think that might have just been a toy.
I have it sitting right over there on my shelf. I got Peter Venkman opened up, and he's shooting his proton stream at the man-eating toilet.
Hey, this is a family-friendly show. Keep that talking about that.
My biggest fear in life, a man-eating toilet, apparently.
Every kid's nightmare, when they're being potty trained. Even before they see the episode, that's what they're thinking.
Yeah, pretty much. Or no, if it was even in the show, we're debating that, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Was it in it? We'll have to. I don't know. We'll have to see if that was actually in the show or not.
Where's Pete? He would know right off the bat.
I'm sure he
and
would.
You know what? As soon as he watches this episode, I'm sure he'll be commenting to us in the. We'll find out sooner or later, and I'm sure whoever's listening can always jot it down in the comment section too in the video, so other people
comment down below.
Yeah, then people know where to
Somebody,
go to watch
please. Somebody, please comment. Nobody ever comments.
Anybody.
Just say, hey, how you doing?
But yeah, I mean, like you said, this was a huge jumping off point for most of us. I mean, I was a little bit older. I think I was like 11 actually when this first came out, so I was a little older.
Oh, you're an oldie. I was 3 when it started.
2.
Yeah, this was part of that whole Saturday morning lineup that we used to love back in the 80s. It was the greatest thing ever.
And it had some amazing voice talent too, behind all the characters.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Maurice LaMarche, Frank Welker. I mean, Frank Welker was like in everything.
Yeah, he was the guy.
Him and Peter Cullen. But Arsenio Hall, Lorenzo Music, Dave Coulier. I mean, there's a huge run.
As we were talking about before we actually started recording, that Jason had made notes with everything, and then I started adding things, and he's like, I didn't know you were going to put like all of the voice actors in. And I'm like, well, there's stories behind that we'll get into about the shifting voice actors. But yeah, one interesting story about Lorenzo Music, who was originally Peter Venkman. Supposedly, I don't know how true this is, Bill Murray wanted him changed because he didn't like Peter Venkman sounding like Garfield, which is ironic.
Yeah, right?
Because like 20 years later,
he'd
be playing Garfield himself.
Which I believe he's on record saying that was his biggest regret. So,
I mean, yeah, if you can, well, did he say that outside of Zombieland, or was it only in Zombieland?
No, I think he said it for real.
Did he say that for real?
And he said it in the movie, yeah. I could be wrong.
It had to come with a healthy paycheck, so you can't regret it too much.
But yeah, anyway, I mean, if anyone wants to catch any of these episodes, they're on a bunch of streaming services. Some you have to pay for, but like Roku channel, YouTube, they're free. But if you have subscriptions like Amazon or Fandango or Apple TV, I think you can find them on there. I think they're included. I think they're an extra charge.
That's what drives me nuts. I'm not sure about Fandango or Apple TV, but Amazon Prime. I mean, you already have to pay for Amazon Prime. But then you go in Amazon Prime and then like you look up Real Ghostbusters and they're like, oh yeah, you can watch this for an additional $2.99 or what? It's like, really? It's like, I'm already paying for the Prime package for this stuff. So yeah, you
got Blockbuster.
So, or you can just go and I think you can probably find the DVD box sets probably still on Amazon, and so you can just buy the whole set for probably like $20. And then you can watch it as much as you want, whenever you want.
I don't know. Do people still buy physical media these days?
I do. Actually. I have drawers full of DVDs.
Well, I mean, I restarted because, like, especially like anything that Disney owns, they have a tendency to want to change stuff.
But yeah, tons of choices, lots of places to watch it.
And I guess, I mean, we'll just kind of go through and touch on things with the show itself. Obviously, it took off from the success of the first movie. It took them a couple of years, and then there was a whole tricky naming thing because Ghostbusters' name was originally taken from another show called The Ghostbusters from the 70s. And that was still a problem when they were making the cartoon, which is why it's called The Real Ghostbusters. So, these are the guys from the movie, the ones you want to see.
This is the real one, not that monkey ape guy.
There's no monkey in this one.
Monkey ape guy.
But I mean,
didn't they fight a like monkey ape guy in one of these episodes?
You know what? I mean, with 170 episodes, I'm sure there's one in there somewhere. 140 episodes, I'm bad. Yeah, I mean, that was one of the things that I loved about rewatching, especially the first episode, because it literally takes over like from them coming back after fighting Stay Puft. You know, they pull back. They show you coming into the firehouse, and they're covered in the all the marshmallow and stuff like that.
I think I might pull a actually on you. That actually wasn't the first episode. That was
it?
No, that was like the end of season 1. Like the show just started, and then towards the end of that season, I think. What was the name of that?
You
episode?
sure about that? Because I remember watching. Because I wanted to started watching it. There was a pilot episode that I don't think originally aired. You can still find it. I think maybe on YouTube. Maybe that's what's on my, because I got the DVD box set.
Yeah. And the Ghostbusters, they're in their khaki uniforms. The characters look a little bit more like the movie characters.
Yes, and that was because the DVD box that I have, the very first CD, the first episode on that DVD, they're coming back into the firehouse in their khaki uniforms, covered in the all the blasted up, cooked up marshmallow and stuff like that, and they're talking about how their suits are too contaminated and they had to like get rid of them or whatever, and that's why they ended up going with those multicolored.
So I think the episode you're talking about, like I said, I think it originally was a pilot, and then I think they kind of reskinned it with like the new character design, and then they bumped it to the end of the season. That's like the one where like there's the ghost. I think that's when like they officially meet Slimer, and he becomes like their mascot.
And it's a flashback episode. Peter's talking to a reporter. Yeah. So
yeah.
Okay, so maybe that is the pilot, but yeah, because like I said, it was the first DVD, episode on the box set.
Yeah, I think was it Citizen Ghost? I think was the name of that one.
I believe that's it.
You're almost going to make me want to get up and go get my DVD box set so I can just.
That's all right. Don't worry. Pete is furiously commenting below this video right now.
We have people yelling at the screen right now. Actually. But that's okay. Engagement is good. Yell at us in the comments, please.
Either way, I thought that was very interesting with that whole line where they kind of explain why they're going to the different uniforms and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good explanation why obviously because 3 of the 4 guys are, just white guys with brown hair, and they were hard to differentiate for kids. So yeah,
it was for the toy line.
Yeah.
Well, that too.
The toy designs weren't as articulate and, nice as they are now. So it's a little.
Well, it's also too, it was the 80s. Like everything was made like, can we make toys of this?
Well, yeah. All cartoons back then were designed to sell toys.
Yep. Sometimes the shows were designed because they've already made the toys.
Indeed.
But we won't say anything bad about it because it's the 80s and we all love it.
Hey, I'm not going to mark it, but I love it.
So yeah, like it kind of jumped into what we touched on before. Like my memories of this show, I remember like starting to watch it like seasons 1 and 2. They were a little darker. They were a little more in line with the movies, toned down for kids, whatever. But I remember the stories being like interesting, and a lot of the ghosts and the storylines being genuinely creepy. Like maybe not necessarily full on scary unless you're talking about the boogeyman. That episode was that shook me for weeks.
That was the first thing that was just right on the tip of my tongue, and I wanted to say, I was like, yeah, there was that boogeyman episode where he was coming in the kids' bedrooms and stuff, and like it was the gateway into his land or whatever.
Yeah, but they were like actually scary. It was great. I mean, I wasn't like a scaredy cat, and I wasn't like a big tough kid, but I was like somewhere in the middle. So it was just right riding that line where it was scary enough where I felt like tough, but if it got a little too scary, I could just turn away. Then moving on, like I said, it got a little more kid friendly.
After the toy line got very popular.
Got very popular. Yep. Like, how can we make more money from this?
Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yep. Hey, I've got the repro figures on my shelf too.
Yeah, these are all the
Gotta check.
reproductions. They're not the. I do have a couple of the originals, but not many.
New
it
ecto glows right
still
there.
it still makes me very sad that all my originals got tossed years ago.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
It is.
Mine are all in a bin in the next room, actually.
All your toys from when you were a kid?
Yeah,
That's
still
cool.
got them all.
Nice.
I got the firehouse. They're not in good shape, but they're all intact.
Yeah, still just having them. Like I said,
Yeah.
I would love to have my originals back.
Mm-hmm.
Someday I'll figure out how to display them.
I mean, I love the reproductions that Hasbro was making a couple years ago. I think there's like little subtle variation, but they pretty much look spot on to the originals,
Yeah. Well, I've got. I almost struck.
including Venkman's creepy green eyes for some reason.
These are the freight feature ones, but you know, the molds and everything were. I don't know if they're exact, but darn close. You know, because I know people have like actually did side by side comparisons, and I think they're almost identical.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know necessarily how it works in the toy world, but I know like Hasbro bought Kenner, so I assume if those molds were laying around somewhere, they just reused them.
Yeah, because I actually noticed it's kind of funny because they have like it says Kenner and Hasbro right next to each other on the box of the Ecto One here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, man, those are big competitors back when I was a kid. Now they're on the same box. That's bizarre.
I wanted to talk because this story behind the scene of this show, I find it extremely compelling, and it makes me think what the show could have been if it kept in the direction it was going with the first two seasons before it got like taken over, kind of. So I found this in my research right before season three. The network was like, "Hey, how can we make more money to get more people to like this?" And they hired a consulting firm to find out how to make their cartoons more kid friendly. Which is ridiculous on his very face. So they did like focus groups and stuff like that. So because of that, that's why you get things in season three where they wanted to change the appearances of some people. Like Ray got a little bit slimmer. He wasn't quite as pudgy as he was. They gave Slimer a tail because he didn't have it in originally one. I think he just was kind of rounded. I don't think there were butt cheeks in the kids show. Janine got a full blown makeover where like her like angular glasses and spiky hair went away, and they made her look and like a more like softer and more motherly to the team, which it kind of defeated the purpose of that like tough New York attitude she had from the movies.
Well, most of these people are so out of touch with what everybody.
Yeah. And one I found absolutely baffling is that they originally suggested getting rid of the character of Ray altogether because they didn't think he added anything to the show.
Let's get rid of the heart of the Ghostbusters. That's a great idea.
Now remember, these are probably the same people that thought it was a great idea to kill off Optimus Prime. Okay, so like,
true. I don't know. Like, I know this company was like, I'm not going to say their name because I don't want to want them to smack us with liability or something like that. They were hired by the network to do a bunch of like Saturday morning lineup things. So I don't know how many shows they might have affected. I really didn't look that deep into it. I was just looking at Ghostbusters, but yeah, I wonder if you got like a favorite show and all of a sudden things go like sideways. You're like, huh? I wonder.
Yeah, they probably got some outside information, or they brought in different writers, or there was some sort of drastic changes somewhere along the lines.
Well, a lot of the like best episodes, at least its opinion, seem to have been written by who was the primary like script editor, which was J. Michael Straczynski. And he's done a bunch of different stuff. If you watched the show in the 80s as a kid, he probably wrote part of it or oversaw some part of it. He's prolific with the writing he did for 80s cartoons. But yeah, he got so frustrated with the direction they took the show that he's left. He's like, nope, not doing this.
See, I really got to start watching some of the later episodes. Because like I said, most of the episodes I've watched have been in the first two seasons.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it was,
I know I've watched them, but it was just way too long ago to where I can't really remember them that much.
I did remember this, like when I was doing like looking things up and ever. I did remember this when I was a kid. It sparked a memory that later, I think it was season 4, the show got retitled to be Slimer and the Real Ghostbusters, and it changed from a half hour to an hour. And like the first half hour was like a standard, like Real Ghostbusters, and then there was like a Slimer short, like all about like Slimer's adventures, because he was like he was the draw for the kids. He was the mascot. He was the fun little, blob that kids wanted to watch.
Yeah, he brought the laughs. He brought the humor. And watching a lot of the episodes in the first 2 seasons, most of the problems stemmed because of something Slimer did in the beginning.
Yeah, yeah. That's like within mostly within those episodes. There's always like Slimer does something, Venkman gets mad and tries to blast him, and then at the end they kind of like hug it out. Yeah.
And one of the craziest things, I know this has been going around for way back when they were bringing in people to audition for the parts, and how originally how Ernie Hudson auditioned for the part of Winston. And they're like, yeah, you just don't really sound like him. You don't sound close enough. Like, yeah.
You don't sound like the character you played in the movies.
Really? That blew me away.
I know. Poor Ernie. Like, it took him so long to get love from everything he did with Ghostbusters. I am glad that he's like the emissary now for the franchise.
Yes.
Yeah, and I hope going forward, if they do make more movies, that he's a part of it. And, whether it's a little or a lot of it, as long as he's a part of it.
Yeah, within the context of the movies, he's basically overseeing like Ghostbusters Inc. Like he's like the CEO. So
yeah, and he's also the money ball. He's
yeah.
But that just blew me away. It's like, really, the guy who actually played the part doesn't sound the part. It must have been one of Arsenio Hall's buddies who was on the casting or something like that.
Yeah,
no, I got somebody better for this role.
Yeah, and even like I think hold on, look at here. So Maurice LaMarche as Egon stayed the same throughout the whole show. Frank Welker was there for the whole show, but like all the other cast was kind of like shuffled around between like seasons 2 and 4. So
yeah, well,
I don't know.
Yeah, Frank and Maurice were like, they're 2 voice actor staples. You get them involved in something, you don't want to let them go.
Yeah. Well, Frank Welker was like, he was established back in the day. And Lorenzo Music was too. I feel like I remember hearing this might have been Maurice's like first big gig.
Was it?
Yeah. I feel like I saw an interview with him where he came in, he said, they told me to, read for it and not do a Harold Ramis impression. And I did a Harold Ramis impression and I got the job anyway.
Yeah, that seems to be another common story you hear from actors who got parts. Their talent agent or whoever is like, yeah, don't do this, do this, and then they go against what their agent said and they end up getting the role.
That's show business.
Yep. This was another little tidbit that I found extremely funny with all the like behind the scenes changes and stuff. There's an episode in season 6 called Janine, You've Changed. And it's actually almost like a meta commentary about her appearance changing from like early in the show to later in the show. And this was written by one of the original writers, J. Michael Straczynski. And apparently he wrote this as kind of like an FU before he left, which states that the reason her personality and appearance changed and why she like really got into Egon and all that was because she was under the influence of a demon.
So she was possessed this whole time.
She was like possessed by a demon. That's why that happened. I didn't get a chance to rewatch the episode because I wanted to before this, but I have to now just because I read that story and I was laughing out loud.
Man, these people really come up with anything to try to make some sort of like explanations on things.
Mm.
It kind of reminds me of like back in the day, in the 80s. Remember the show Dallas?
Oh yeah.
And how they killed off JR, but then it turned out it was just a dream.
I was just about to start Dallas. Now I'm not going to bother.
Sorry, didn't mean to ruin it 35 years later or whatever it was.
It's probably like 45 years later at this point. Then that's just starting to.
Was it 70s? It might have been, but I just remember that was like the big controversy in the day, or made all the news. It was like, they killed off JR, and then all of a sudden, like, oh no, never mind, it was just a dream.
Yeah, that's how the show ended, right? I think.
I don't know. I don't remember that, but I just remember that storyline. And it just.
Well, I remember the cartoon counterpart, Who Shot Mr. Burns from The Simpsons.
Oh, yeah.
I was just going to say it, but I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't seen it
yet. Yep, don't spoil it.
I know who did it.
And I can remember theorizing with friends, like, about who did it. And we were all wrong.
Did you really have, like, you and your buddies sit down and have thinking sessions, like, oh, all right, and have, like, you have your big chalkboard with the pins and the threads, going to everybody, and all the
Well, yeah, it was like, what, early 90s when that was on, and we were like pre-teens. We didn't have anything else to do. We always watched The Simpsons on Sunday,
in one of your buddies' backyards up in the tree fort, talking it out.
Yeah. The Stranger Thing kids are like, saving the world. We're talking about Who Shot Mr. Burns.
So I had an interesting realization. I lost which episode it was. I believe it was in the first season. And this is purely speculation on my part because I don't know if this actually is the case. But there is a very, very quick scene, blink and you miss it. They show a proton pack starting up. And obviously in the 84 movie, the cyclotron effect is just the 4 lights blinking. But in the cartoon, they actually show it starting to spin slowly and get faster, like Afterlife. And so I'm wondering, I wonder if they were inspired for Afterlife because that was the big change they made to the proton packs in the movie. And the cartoon did it in, 1986. So.
Okay, Winston, then let him take this.
Opening the trap now.
It might have been. They obviously used some of it for influence. I remember in Afterlife, like the eyeball ghost toy.
Yeah.
Came out of like a hardware store or something like that. So
yeah, that was like the huge reveal. Like, woo, I got excited when I saw him. I know that guy.
Revolutionary for a cartoon to show like the inside of the cyclotron spinning up, but it's very obviously drawn. Like it's slow, it starts up and then gets faster, and then I don't think they ever show that again. So,
they're probably like, this is too much to animate.
Yeah, probably. But it was pretty cool.
I was thinking about it like too. I was trying to go through it. Actually, I have my list up if I can get it, about some of the episodes that I really remember when I was a kid. I think one of the ones that, like, it stuck with me like for decades. It was an episode called Knock Knock, and it might have been like early season 2. Is when like subway workers uncover a door that will unleash doomsday, and because they're on the clock and got to get this subway done, they obviously open the door and unleash hell on earth, and the Ghostbusters have to go into the netherworld to deal with it. For some reason, I remember that one sticking with me, and I think it's because there's just this creepy door. It's like, do not open till doomsday. And that is tattooed on my psyche, that episode.
Yes.
Like, I wouldn't even say it's my favorite. It's just the one I remember like the most.
Yeah, it embedded.
It's imprinted.
I don't think a cartoon episode ever really did that to me that I can think of.
I think actually the Citizen Ghost one is for me because I loved the green glowing with the smoke coming out of their eyes versions of all the Ghostbusters. That always stuck with me. I thought that was creepy and cool. So
that one might be my favorite. It is definitely one I remember the whole story from start to finish. Like,
yeah, I probably saw that episode as a kid before I actually saw the original movie because, as we said at the beginning, the cartoon was my gateway, so that's what I started with, and then saw the movies after. So
I think I had it like on a maybe like a VHS 2-pack. It was like that episode, and I don't remember what the other one was. That's probably why it sticks to my brain. I watched it so much.
yeah,
That's kind of my experience with a lot of the cartoons back in the 80s, because we didn't really have cable. Well, not really, but we didn't have it. But my buddy who lived a couple miles up the road, he had it. So his mom was always nice enough that she would actually videotape, a couple hours worth of, cartoons, and then give me the videotape. So I would just watch these videotapes over and over and over again. So it was the same, same G.I. Joe, same Ghostbusters, same Voltron, same Transformers over and over and over again. It's like,
here's a question: do you think that you can wear out a VHS tape by watching it too much?
I would think so. Just like a music tape, because it's a magnetic media.
Yeah. Okay.
So
all right. Because
from a technical standpoint, I think it's just gonna wear out.
I have reason to believe that my mother back in the day told me I wore out tapes, but in reality, she just didn't want to watch the same thing over and over again.
I mean, that's probably
that was half truth and half lie.
Yeah, I think you would have to watch it quite a bit to get it to actually start to degrade to the point where you would really notice it.
I don't blame you, Mom, if you were lying. I don't blame you.
Nah, that was the same thing that parents told their kids, kind of like, no swimming for a half hour after you eat, otherwise you'll get cramps and drown. It's like,
or if you make that face, it's going to stick like that.
Don't cross your eyes. It'll stick like that forever.
I used to love telling my kids that kind of stuff. Not that I meant it, but just because it was like, I don't know, it kind of like felt like passing the torch type thing.
Don't swallow your gum. It'll stay in your stomach forever.
Oh yeah, God, I remember that one.
I wasn't forever. I always thought it was 7 years. That's what I was always told. It'll be in there for 7 years. Forever.
It seems like my mom may have exaggerated to me when I was a child.
I do like how this has gone from being like a Real Ghostbusters episode just a walk down memory lane of the 80s.
Well, I mean, it triggers a lot of things.
We got to talk out stuff.
Oh, yeah, it absolutely does.
You know what when I started watching the original movie when I was a little bit older, I was always so confused as to why the containment unit in that room was so tiny, because to me, it was that giant room in the basement.
Yeah, it was with the giant tank and
massive thing with the grates in the floor that you could always see light coming up for some reason. And
well, yeah, and then we were convinced too that you could just make visits inside the containment center and pop right back out.
Yeah, exactly.
That happened a couple of times.
and oddly enough,
Slammer in with a camera on his head.
Yeah, that kind of stuff I think stuck with me because I mean, obviously I've been a lifelong fan of Ghostbusters, but when I really started getting into it, after kind of like rediscovering it when Afterlife was going to be released, and then when I started studying like proton packs, when I decided to build my first one, I realized that I think a lot of the details in the pack were embedded in my mind from the cartoon, because when I started studying the movie pack, I'm like, wait, that's here, this is here. So it really made me realize how much the cartoon stuck with me as Ghostbusters. It's just a weird thing,
Well, I think you need to make a Real Ghostbusters proton pack now.
That is on the list.
Who is it? Is it Joe that has one?
Joe's in the process of building one.
I'm so jealous of that. I love it.
Yeah, it's a different thing. Obviously, it's got like different parts to it. And it's blue and got like a yellow hose and everything, but it's still recognizable as a proton pack. So,
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's very funny though when you because you were talking about like the differences between the containment unit and the cartoon and the movie. The proton pack from the cartoon was design wise was so much more simpler than what it was in the movies, but then the containment unit was a lot more complex looking in the cartoon than it was in reality, in the real film. So it's kind of a weird.
It's more of a I think it was just a bigger set piece for the cartoon. I don't. Maybe that's why they did it. You know.
Well, yeah, because I mean, obviously they have a basement that has 20-foot ceilings.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, their basement was like, what, 10 times the size of the actual firehouse itself. It took up the whole block.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, while we're talking about like proton packs and stuff like that, I mean, it was the cartoon show that named it the proton pack. It didn't have a name in the original movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like a particle accelerator, neutrino wand, positron collider.
Didn't Peter say proton pack charging in the original though?
He said proton charging.
Proton. Okay. Yep. Interesting.
Yeah. No, it didn't have a name until the cartoon.
And same with Slimer.
Same with Slimer.
Yeah.
Yeah. The cartoon actually like labeled a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you take the cartoon into consideration, and we talked about this in other episodes, you know, like you can explain why there's such a drastic change from the first movie to the second movie, because it actually did inspire a lot of that stuff. You know, that was the big change in Janine and, you know, everything else.
Chronologically, I probably watched Ghostbusters 2 much more, you know, when I was that age before the original movie, and that just felt right, obviously, because they took so many visual cues from the cartoon, so it just all worked.
Although I do got to say, I think it would be actually pretty interesting if Ghostbusters, when the Ghostbusters 2 came out, they still had the different colored uniforms like they did in the cartoon.
I mean, they tried doing that with the gray suits in the movie. They tried bringing in different colored suits.
Yeah, but they all wore the same color though.
Yeah, at the time.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably where they drew the line. They're like, we can't be too much like that.
Yeah. It'd be very obvious if they're all multicolored.
Or you see Egon with the big curly
rat tail
hair in the front, you know, like
that big like
telescope
French pastry style hair.
Yeah. People are like, what the heck is going on here?
Or, you know, like Harold Ramis could have just had like his normal poof in there, but there was just like a little subtle indent in the front that looked like.
So, yeah. So if you're looking to get a way to get your kids into watching Ghostbusters, Real Ghostbusters is definitely a nice, fun way to do it.
It is the way to go. It worked for many of us back in the 80s. I think Corey and I run the same timeline, like cartoon show, GB2, then GB1.
Yep.
I believe that's how it happened for me too.
Yeah, I really didn't discover my appreciation for the original until later. So
yeah, I got a lot of that all dumped on me at once when I was a kid. And a lot of it definitely way before it probably should have, because I had, you know, anytime I went to like my grandparents' house, my grandfather was one of those persons that he always had to pick what was on TV. And for some reason, anytime he knew his grandkids were coming over, he would put on the scariest, most horrific movies he could find. So I got introduced to a lot of stuff pretty early. So when I saw things like Ghostbusters, it was like, this is nothing.
I mean, I do have recollections of like my father, because my father was like, he'd been injured, so he was out of work for quite a bit. So my mom was still going to work when we were kids. And I do have recollections of my old man just like watching things that probably I shouldn't have been watching, but not really thinking about it because it wasn't a thing. But yeah, you'll be fine, boy.
Hey, you want to watch this R-rated movie? All right, here you go. This is going to be fun.
Basically.
Yeah.
It's like, you can handle it.
Yep. Yeah, we were
Slime in the Tub from GB2 really messed me up as a kid. So I famously had issues taking a bath. When
Boy, between having a fear of the bathtub and the toilet.
Man,
it's messed up, man. It's messed up.
Do we need to lay you down on a couch and have a conversation here or something?
Oh, probably. But the solution, though, that my mom discovered was all I had to do is have my blue Kenner Real Ghostbusters proton pack in the bathroom with me, and then I was good to go. I could take a bath. So problem solved.
That'll do it.
Just had to be armed.
And I will say, I think I missed out on like the cosplay or whatever, you know, play type props. I remember having like the figures and the Ecto one. I don't remember ever actually owning any of the toys like the Proton Pack or the Pika-8 or anything like that.
Oh, I didn't have the trap. That was the best.
I didn't have.
I don't recall ever having it.
I don't recall having any Ghostbuster toys when I was a kid.
Well, that's because like by the time it came on, you were heading to college.
He's already in the workforce, you know. Come on.
Yeah, getting his lunch pail, putting his tie on.
So I had toys from just every other genre and movie and show, but for some reason I don't know why, like Ghostbusters wasn't one of them for some reason. So I've been making up for it.
You're a late bloomer, yes.
I can remember being all in on Ghostbusters like when it first started, like when it was still a little darker before it got more kid friendly, because that was about the time too that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles started to air. So I kind of shifted more in that direction too. Like I still had all the GB toys, but like I was more of like a Ninja Turtle kid in like the late 80s, early 90s.
I did love the Turtles.
So
yeah, I mean, my biggest thing when I was a kid was definitely Voltron and Transformers.
You don't say. I couldn't tell by looking behind you.
But I mean, again, but then I had everything else too, though. I had He-Man and Jason the Wheeled Warriors. I'm pretty sure I had some like Silverhawks. Yeah, Thundercats. I had all that stuff. G.I. Joe. I just don't know why I didn't have. I don't know. I guess I just had. My parents must have thought I had too much.
Yeah, well, at one point too, there's only so much as a kid that you can like absorb. There's only so many worlds you can get into, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, playing with them, I always absorbed all the worlds into one. So, Optimus Prime was hanging out with Duke and
You had the multiverse before the
Riding
multiverse
around in
was
the
cool.
Thunder Tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could talk like just briefly too, because I didn't really watch it. I was too old at the point. But like the kind of revival of Real Ghostbusters in the 90s, the Extreme Ghostbusters. Like I know when did that come out? Like 97. So I was 14 or 15 years old. I was not interested in watching cartoons at that point in my life.
Yeah, I missed that one too when it was out.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard it's good, and like some of the characters from that, I've like stuck around in like expanded media, but yeah, I never got into that one.
Well, they even had an episode where all the OGs came to help them fight.
Yeah.
So I did see that one. That was pretty cool.
Really? That's interesting. Yeah, and I never saw that either. I never watched watch the Extreme Ghostbusters.
Yeah, they had their blue packs and everything too. Like it was like the old gear they got out. So
Yeah, I think it was only on for like a season. Like it didn't really catch on.
one season, yeah.
Fortunately, Ghostbusters was kind of like in the wild at that point and past its peak of popularity.
And had to wait for our generations to get old enough to be the people with the money that they're targeting us again.
Yeah, it's cyclical.
They targeted our parents when we were a kid to buy us the toys we wanted. Now they're targeting us directly.
What, nostalgia marketing? That's not a thing.
I mean, like I just mentioned a couple minutes ago, like He-Man didn't stick with me, but like I watched the new trailer for the movie coming out. I'm like, I might have to see that.
Oh god, that trailer looks amazing. I can't wait to see it. Yeah.
I mean, if anything, like at this point, it may not make me buy more He-Man toys, but I might see like He-Man on screen and I'm like, all right, I got to go to the gym. So there's that, I guess.
Well, I'm not sure who the actor is that they got to play, He-Man and Adam or whatever, but I know a lot of people were complaining because he's not like hugely big and buff. He just looks more fit.
Well, I mean, that's fine. He-Man's proportions were like stupidly like unrealistic anyway. Like,
well, yeah.
I mean, geez.
Yeah.
Like all these, the superhero like Marvel, DC movies, none of these guys are as big as they are in the comic books. It's just not real.
Yeah, but people were really complaining about that. They really wanted to get like, I don't know who are like the biggest strong men in the world now, but
the problem is though, is that you can't just cast someone because they look like more like the character, because they might not be able to act.
Here comes He-Man with his sword. I pick things up and I put them down. Like just
I mean, yeah, I mean, if you're going back like Arnold back in the 80s, that would have been like, he would have been yeah, Austrian He-Man. So May 2nd and 3rd, Saratoga Comic-Con. If you're seeing this before then, make sure you show up and come see us up on the second floor in our usual dusty corner. If you're watching this after May 2nd and 3rd, I hope we saw you and you had a great time and you found us to be just a wonderful person to meet. We have on the 16th of May, the Local 7 Health Fair and grand opening of their new center up in Latham from 10 to 2. We're actually doing that with one of our members, John. His union's putting that on to support health for their employees, which is great. The next day, we have two events going on. Mm-hmm. On the 17th, we have the Golden Hill Touch-A-Truck in Florida, New York, which is something we're returning to after they kind of had to stop doing it post-COVID for a while. And on the same day in Stamford, Connecticut, the, like, I guess, newly formed Connecticut branch from Ghostbusters will be doing the Stamford Day Memorial Parade, which we're on track to have a good showing. A couple actos, a bunch of Ghostbusters. So yeah, that steps off at 12 o'clock. Be sure to check out any of those. And on the 31st of May, with a lot of time to be determined and exactly what we're doing, HVGB will be returning to whatever the stadium is called where the Renegades play. I can't remember what it is at the moment.
Heritage Financial Park, but it's yeah,
the Renegade Stadium. That's where we'll be on the 31st of May.
Yeah, we'll be there during the game time. So whatever the game times are, we'll probably be there an hour or so before, up to the game ends.
All right, moving on and wrapping up. So that is going to wrap up episode 26 of Hudson Valley Slime Time. If you enjoyed listening to us and all the things we rambled out over the past hour, please do like, subscribe, comment below. Tell your friends, family, even people you don't like. We want everyone to watch this. If you're listening to this podcast and are interested in having Ghostbusters at your next event, but you're not in the Hudson Valley area, you can visit the Ghostbuster directory, whoyougonnacall.org, and you will find a nicely detailed directory by state or country for your local Ghostbusters group. For our local fans who want to find out what we're doing or want to book us for an event, you can go to our website, hbgb.org, and look at our calendar. And if you have any questions or comments that you'd like to directly reach out to us about, you can email us, podcast@hbgb.org.
And of course, you can always see what we're up to as well through social media. We're on All the Greatest Hits, Facebook, Instagram. We are on Bluesky, even though nobody else is. I like Bluesky, though. It's good. We're also on TikTok and, of course, here on YouTube.
Well, we're on Bluesky, so we're the first. We'll make it, but we'll make it good.
Yes.
And about our website has just been refreshed, so make sure you go there and check it out.
It looks so good.
It is. It does look amazing. Joe did a great job. If you have
nice and shiny,
all nice and polished and beautiful. If you have any questions about anything we discussed tonight, please leave a comment below. Remember to help show your support. Visit our online store, redbubble.com. Type in HVGB in the search bar. There you'll find all kinds of amazing merchandise. Especially if you're planning on going to Ghostbusters Day this year. It's coming up. We've got some really cool Proton Pack themed backpacks and bags. You don't want to necessarily lug around your Proton Pack in the city all day. This is a great alternative. You can store stuff in there and they look amazing at the same time. A portion of each purchase does go to charity. And like Matt said, one of the easiest ways to support us is to like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please, we can't hammer that through enough. With that, I want to thank all of you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you guys did too. Hope we didn't go too far down the rabbit hole.
Oh, we did, but it's okay.
I'll fix it in editing. Don't worry.
That means this episode's going to be 2 minutes long.
Remember, someone has gold. All right. Anyway, as always, remember, have fun and play with slime.
And cut.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'll see you later, huh? I'll give you a call.